Hello, welcome to Earth Science. We're going to really quickly go through the forces of nature assignment with you. So let me share my screen and get up that lesson page. So we're on our weathering and erosion unit, and we're just starting in on it. We're going to go to day 3-9 for you guys for my in-person classes. Your dates are going to be a little bit different. You guys have actually already done this forces of nature assignment. We're coming up on weathering and erosion vocab, and then weathering, erosion, and then we'll have some connections. But for today, we're just going to look at forces of nature. This is going to be due March 12th. Today is the 8th, so you have about 4 days on this. Really quick, easy assignment. Nothing too strenuous or involved here. You're going to take notes on the forces of nature slides here that we'll go through. Then you're going to click here to make your own copy of the Grand Canyon research assignment. Complete that assignment and then upload it here where mine says published. Yours will say submit, and you'll upload your answers there. It is actually, let's go ahead and take a look at it down here. A set of 12 questions here, and it is actually a Q&A. You don't have to put this into a paper format or anything. You are just going to research this online, find the answers to these questions, type them in on your document, and submit it. It is as simple as that. This should not take you more than 10 minutes. To find all this information and submit it. The slides are also pretty short. We've got 7 of them, and there's not actually very many of them that you're going to have to write on. So let's go ahead and jump into this. As always, excuse me, when we do a slideshow, if I'm moving too fast for you, feel free to pause the video, finish the slide you're on, and then restart the video to catch up with us. That is always an option for you. Again, these are super short. We're going to go through them fairly quickly. So let's go ahead and jump in. Go ahead and grab out whatever you need to take notes with and on or in, whether that be online in a Google Doc or in a notebook, whichever way you're doing it this year. Pause me till you get your stuff gathered up and then come back. All right, welcome back. Let's go on forces of nature. The first thing you're going to watch is this little video on how the Grand Canyon was formed. It is a short video, so go ahead and pause me, watch the Grand Canyon video, and then come back to go through the rest of the slides. Okay, so in the video, it talked about the Colorado River and how it erodes backwards. If you haven't watched that video, please pause me and go watch it. You're going to need that information for the rest of the lesson. And it's also kind of interesting information. So there are a few rivers out there that are going to erode backwards. Another very famous one here in the United States is, any guesses? It's a huge waterfall that's super famous. People get married there a lot. Guesses? Okay, hopefully you got it right. It is Niagara Falls. This is on the border between New York and Canada. It's just north of Buffalo. It's eroded back about 3 foot a year until humans kind of stepped in and intervened, and it's maintained its rough structure and area for quite a few years since then. What we did was the people in the area recognized the power of Niagara Falls, so they set up a hydroelectric plant. Hydroelectric means a place where you draw power from water, from moving water. So the power of the falls was actually providing power for the general area now. So that's where they get their power supply for all of their buildings. When they did this, they're using it to provide electricity for all of Niagara Falls, and it basically regulates the flow of water over the falls. So during the day, they slow it down. At night, they'll turn it up for a little bit for the oohs and ahs of the light shows for the tourists, and then they'll turn it down again. They'll actually turn it down much more at nighttime because there's not people out there trying to view it and see the spectacle that is Niagara Falls. So it does actually get turned down much more at night than it does during the day. They've not stopped the erosion of the falls, but they've slowed it down quite a bit. The Horseshoe Falls is on the Canadian side, and it is shaped like a horseshoe. You'll see some pictures here in a second. That side is where the hydroelectric plant is. And so that side erosion has slowed a whole lot, and it's eroding back very, very, very slowly, much less than it used to. The American side, not so much. Because there's no hydroelectric plant on that side, the erosion hasn't slowed as much as the Canadian side. It has slowed a little bit though, because the water is kind of redirected more towards the Canadian side. So it has slowed the American side just a touch. Fun fact, there is always a rainbow at the bottom of Niagara Falls. So they have a boat down there called Made of the Mist where you can get on the boat, put on a rain slicker, and they actually like boat you up to the bottom of the falls where it's constant mist and you get soaking wet even with the raincoat on. But you go underneath that rainbow that's there from that constant mist that's there. It's kind of a cool thing. If you've never been, highly recommend you go at least once. You can also go to Cave of the Winds, which is in between the American Falls and the Canadian Falls, and it's behind one of the little minor falls, so you can actually see the falls in front of you. Lots of cool things to do there. The view of both parts of the falls is actually better from the Canadian side of the border. If you look at it from the American side, you're kind of at an angle to it. So you can see the American side falls from the American side. It's really hard to see the Canadian falls from the American side. If you cross the border into Canada, got to have a passport now to do it. And actually, because of the Rona, it's closed border, so you can't. Once it opens up again, head over to the Canadian side with your passport and take a look. You can actually see the Horseshoe Falls straight on, and you can see the American Falls straight on. Super cool. So this is what they look like. This is a shot from the Canadian Falls, from the top of one of the hotels in the area. I took this shot when I was up there for college. So you've got the American Falls over here on the left. That's kind of a straight line, and then you have the little Cascade Falls separated by this little bit of rock. And Cave of the Winds is actually back behind those. And then up here on the right, you have the Horseshoe Falls, which are actually shaped like a horseshoe. This in the middle is Goat Island. And there's lots of cool trails and places that you can kind of hike out onto the rocks and that kind of thing in this area here on Goat Island. You don't want to go out into anything that's actually in the path of the river because you don't want to fall and get swept up in the river. So stay away from the river. But it's a really pretty area. It's a really nice area. It's gotten kind of touristy on the American side, so I recommend heading over to the Canadian side. There's another shot in the American Falls with the rainbow there. This is one of those Made of the Mist boats down there. This is the USA over here. This is Goat Island. Here's Cascade Falls. And then Horseshoe Falls is going to be over here on the right-hand side off screen. This is the Horseshoe Falls. You can see that it's kind of started eroding sideways here, and then it's gotten the horseshoe erosion here. All of the hydroelectric power is in this vicinity. You can see the catches, I guess, over here, the barriers where they kind of collect the water in coming off right here, and the power plant is over in this general area back over in here. It's definitely worth the trip to go see it, though. It's really kind of an amazing sight, especially from down here at the bottom. All right, so that is it for the slides. Told you they were fast. Go ahead and come down here, make your copy of the Grand Canyon research assignment, answer these questions, get it turned in. You can make your copy right here with this link. And that is it for today. We'll see you next time. And we will see you again.